Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight I have Stu Wally as my co-host. Tonight we're going to cover the latest news, and the latest news is Rúben Neves. He's keen on a return to the Premier League and has emerged an option for Manchester United in January. And Al-Hilal, his Saudi club, are prepared to let him go for around 20 million. This is according to the source of Chris Wheeler. We will talk about this, how he will fit into this Amorim system. And there are also some rumors about Manuel Ugarte on a potential loan deal to OGC Nice, the Ineos-owned club in France. This is according to Sport Witness. Maybe one player is going out and one player is going in. So if this is true, I think it's good news, and I would hope so. It could happen. Guys, there will also be some updates on Semenyo, 60 plus 10 million pounds. United going all out for the Bournemouth, what you can call him, winger. And also there are some Bruno comments after the Rio podcast. We will talk about them, and Man United updates on Kobe Mainu. So, but at the end of the show, we will do a little preview on the Aston Villa game coming up on Sunday. So, guys, stay tuned, and Jarvis and Stu will be back after the intro. So, see you in a second. Boom, 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 boom. The Tactical Devils are back. It's Thursday night. Jarvis and good old Stu in his new studio. How are you doing, Stu?
The new office, which has got nothing in it and is going to be echoing and doing stuff like that. But I've got my internet on, and so we should all be good tonight. Fingers crossed, no issues. But over the next week or two, we'll start to take shape. I'll get the desk in. I'll get some colour on the walls. I don't know yet what colour. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, I might go pink.
The
office. Pink. Yeah, I might go pink. I might go a nice shade of pink, just to like.
Okay.
Chill me down. Sebastian used to be a goalkeeper. Absolutely not. No, but this was a gift from the other half, so I thought I'd spoil it tonight. You know. Like it.
Nice.
Yes, it's all right. I do like this one. Yeah, it's just a small gift. Yeah. Never a goalkeeper. Absolutely rubbish between the sticks. I think Jarvis is better than me, and that is scraping the barrel.
No, I'm a terrible goalkeeper. I have to say, terrible.
We're not goalkeepers, are we? But cheers to everybody, and let's wish everybody a happy Christmas at this point in time, because I think there's been a lot going on in the world. A lot of people killing each other needlessly, as always. It's happened, hasn't it, in Bondi Beach? It's happened over in America again. You know, stabbings in the UK, assaults in the UK. You know, just knock it off. Just give it a fucking rest, everybody. Yeah. Let's enjoy. I love Christmas. Watch the Christmas movie again today, Jarvis, my old mate.
Ooh.
But it was a bit of a funny one. It was somebody who lost his child on Christmas Eve, so he went around killing everyone. But, you know, it was a bit of a funny one, but it's still a Christmas movie. So anyway, cheers to us all, and let's have a great show, and let's look forward to, if we can, look forward to Sunday. I'm a little bit, I don't know.
Brilliant question coming in from Sean. By the way, Sean, we will come to this after a little while. Let's say half an hour, because we need to go to the latest news. A lot of people have tuned in for this United channel, so it's up to us to bring you the latest. But first of all, we have a super chat coming in from the lovely Grace, saying a £5 super chat, asking a question. Do you think a winger either side at the wing back will work in the Premier League, or do you think it will be too attacking and leave us exposed at the back?
So that's in reference to Semenyo, I'm guessing. I think he's got discipline, Semenyo, to play wing back. But clearly, if he is playing wing back and we are defending for large parts of the game, Jarvis, we all know he's wasted there. He is dynamite up front. Good finisher, good runner, yes. Powerful. I said to you the other day, I'd take him in a heartbeat, but where do we play him? That was a question I raised. It was the only question I could raise because I'm still not 100%. I would think he'd be wasted at wing back personally. But also, currently, we don't really have any quality wing backs either. So it's kind of be careful what you wish for, I think, with Semenyo, but I think it's
to answer Grace's question, when you look at the stats of Antoine Semenyo, he's both-footed. That's a good thing. He can play on both sides. 7 goals, 3 assists so far in 15 games. But if you look at his stats, look at his tackles, 82 percentile. When you look at blocks, 99 percentile. Clearances 84. Aerial ones, 97%. So this guy, he's a defensive guy. He knows how to defend. So I'm not worried when it comes to Semenyo. But if you broaden the question to a player like Ahmad, for example, I'm a little bit concerned. Is okay 1-against-1, but it's defending areas, having awareness, defending the back post, for example, and spot the runners and sense the danger. And this is where I'm a little bit skeptical. And I think maybe in the long run, just my speculation, it could end up with Ahmad not being part of this project long term, maybe for 1 or 2 more seasons.
I totally agree with you on that one. I think Semenyo would be a fantastic acquisition for us. It looks like we're going in for him, doesn't it? If we believe what we read, and I think it's a player that we should be going in for. I made the point about Isak. I don't know he's having a terrible season at Liverpool, but you couldn't deny what he was doing up until that point. And so he became one of those players that you had to go in for, in my opinion, if he became available. Maybe Semenyo at this point in time fits into that category. So if you can get him in January, you can snatch him in January. That will be one hell of a coup. So absolutely brilliant. I think we should recognise. Great question, by the way, Grace. And we love Dallo, by the way. You we do. She's already meant it here. We have Dallo. Come on, Lance. She's absolutely right. Grace, absolutely brilliant. But I do want to.
I'm just going to say.
Go on while I dig out what I want to mention, because we have a graduate in the chat today. Here we go. Sebastian has he graduated today, and he's still drinking at 1 a.m. I don't know where you are in the world, Sebastian, but congratulations from myself and my family. I'm sure Jarvis shares that as well. The Devilish Tacticos. It's always good when you graduate. Let us know what you graduated in, and but yeah, brilliant. Well done, mate.
Big up, Sebastian. Big up.
This is what Jarvis did when he came on. Thank you. And then he went like that. Come on, then bow down to me. Come on. That's how you do it. So congratulations from us all, and I'm sure the Devilish Tacticos will do that. Jamie is keen to talk about Neves. Jamie, we are going to be talking about Neves. Jarvis has got it on a list of things he wants to discuss. So yeah, let's. We're in for Neves, and I'm up for that as well. So he got Mauritius. He's in Mauritius. Sebastian, he got his master's degree today in education. That's brilliant. Well done, mate.
Very good, very good. Impressive.
And
very good.
It might be warm out there, perhaps sunny, beautiful blue seas, private islands. Oh, dear. Beautiful place, Mauritius. Absolutely stunning. Mauritius. Never been, but I would love to go.
By the way, guys, girls, if the sound is okay, it's okay. But if the sound, if it's echoing or anything, let us know, because I don't have a headset, so I don't hear studio sound the same as you here. So I need you guys to help us out now. Stu has a new setup, a new office, so we just got to be aware, be 100% sure that everything is okay from a technical point of view.
Yes.
People, I forgot to mention, you have to smash the like. The likes are the currency of YouTube. So do us a favor, smash the like. And if this is your first time on the Tactical Devils, I said it many times before, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. 1,627 subscribers so far, 1 year into the channel. But we would love to one day reach 2,000, and every sub counts. So if you want, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Sebastian. All good for sound, bro. Thank you. It's good to hear. Good to hear. I just want to say hi to the people who tuned in, and then we go to the Neves Manuel Ugarte saga. So we have United Lens. That's Mark. Big up, Mark. I hope you're well. Jamie Wayne is in the house. We have Catherine on Nonsense McDade. We have Tom Porter. Good evening, Tom. Good to see you. As we saw earlier, Sean is in the house. Big up, Sean. Good to see you. I am Titanium. Belal is here. Big up, Pretty Boy Jarvis and Lucky Stu. Thank you. We have Danny B, Irish Pit Terrier. Big up, Ireland, coming into the house. Good to see you, my good old friend. Let's just scroll a little bit down. There's so many. We have Is It Just Me? Big up. Good to see you. And who else is here? Let me just scroll. We had Grace with her super chat. Catherine, we mentioned her.
Yeah, Catherine's in. No nonsense.
And we have a serious soccer fan coming in, Bart. Good to see you, Bart. He comes in with a comment to say, I can't think of a footballing reason for Semenyo choosing Man United as a place to take the next step in his pro soccer career. Yeah, that's another question. But, a lot of people have speculated about maybe Pep Guardiola is leaving Manchester City after this season, and that Manchester City are looking at the Chelsea coach, Maresca. Yeah. So it could be a unclear future at Manchester City. So if the options is between United and City, we have a project, and I think hopefully we will improve in the up and coming years. So maybe Semenyo wanna be a part of this project. But yeah, from a footballing perspective, the chances of winning things is much higher at Manchester City. But you never know when it comes to Manchester City. Now Manchester United, we one day we will be back for sure.
Yeah, I actually think that's a really interesting point that he's made. In as much as a footballing project, and will it help his pro soccer career? Now, he was quite late to the game, wasn't he, Semenyo, in as much as he's only really been seen at Bournemouth. I know he's in
25,
around,
almost 26.
Yes, that's what I mean. He's late to the game to this kind of elevation.
Yeah,
I think he was at Chelsea before. Am I right in saying that? Their previous clubs, Jarvis. Born in the UK. But plays for, is it Ghana?
It's Ghana, yeah.
Plays for Ghana because he was overlooked for the England squad. So it's only now that he's coming into this rich vein of form. So I've read also that Guardiola is looking to go, and there was big steps about Maresca going to City. Maresca's come out and criticised the Chelsea board over the weekend, so maybe he's making his play for the City job. But there are players, very, very good, solid players that have gone to City and not made it. Is it Nunes from Wolves? Is one. Nunes was an exceptional player at Wolves, hasn't been able to light the fire at City, and there are other players that have done so. But that happens all over the the footballing world. We know, for example, the young lad from Liverpool, Harvey Elliott, really talented footballer, hasn't had a sniff at Villa Park, Morgan Rogers. So it happens up and down the country. Would Semenyo look at Manchester United and think, well, if I'm going to win things, then I will go to City? But then, to be honest, Jarvis, I've said this before, haven't I? City is a path to ease at this current time of winning a trophy. Going to City right now is almost akin as to going to Rangers and Celtic back in the day when you want a medal, you just want a trophy, So I'll there so I can get a trophy of some description if I haven't earned one. Right now, it's a path of least resistance. I'm not really a fan of a path of least resistance. I'm more of a fan of a player who would take a gamble and go to somebody like Manchester United, go to somebody like Aston Villa, who are on the up at this moment, and see what they can do for them. So it's a really it's a brilliant observation by a serious soccer fan, but I'm not kind of. I think Semenyo may be a bit more serious. I think he might.
Let's do just to talk a little bit about Semenyo and his career. He as a youngster, he had trials at a lot of big clubs in the London area, Spurs, Millwall, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. All got rejected until Bristol City picked him up, and he actually did quite well for Bristol City as a young guy, but he had to fight for his career, and then he was signed for Bournemouth for 10 million in 2023. So I think he's serious. I think he's a hard worker. Nothing came easy for him. A lot of these superstar youngsters comes to a team and believe that the world is made for them. We have seen now the latest from Kobe Mainu, free Kobe Mainu. You're 20 years of age and you are freed from what? You're 20.
So it's worth pointing out, my old mate, Andy Cole did roughly the same. Didn't make it at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Ended up at Bristol City, ended up at Newcastle, drops in at Manchester United, so it does happen. A serious soccer fan, I wasn't judging Harvey Elliott. You kind of misunderstood what I was saying. I was using him as a reference point. Right now, he's gone to a club and he's not playing. That's the reference I was making. And it could easily happen at City for Semenyo. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but you're right. What I was trying to say was he struggled in his youth. Clearly couldn't make it at that point in time in his career, Jarvis, for England. Hence, he decided to go to Ghana. Maybe it was a different choice. Maybe Ghana was always his first choice. And but now he gets the move, and it's capitalised on it. So everything's coming in his favour. So I'd like to see that. I mean, I'd take Semenyo all day long if we play him in the right position.
If you play him in the right position, but I'm not quite sure what's the right position. I think we will know more in time. I don't know, Stu. For me, I think he can play both right, left. He can play a false nine. He can play in the tens.
He's a very versatile footballer. He's a very versatile footballer. I don't think he'll have the same problems that Eze's experiencing at this point in time, fighting with Saka, for example, or Ødegaard at Arsenal.
No.
So I don't think Semenyo would have that same issue at Manchester United. I think he would play. And I think Amorim, if he's going to go for him, has made a decision on what he wants him to do and where he wants him to play. Are you going to disrupt the Cunha and Bomo conundrum? Probably not. Who would be the biggest loser in that? Could it be Sesko? I don't think so either, because we've invested a lot in Sesko. So maybe the wing back is the situation, is the position that he's wanted for.
Stu, I have a theory when it comes to this.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit speculative, this theory, but I think Man United have been looking at Semenyo for a long time. There were rumors that we were looking at him in the summer transfer window.
We were.
Semenyo signed a new contract, a new 5-year contract. I think it was in May or June this year, and in that contract he has a release clause, and the release clause comes into effect in January. Beginning of January, and it will be even a little bit lower in the summer. So if we wait out, we can get him even cheaper. But now we are talking about Man United going in for a 60 plus 10 million pound bid, because I think we can't go in for the release clause, because then we have to pay the full amount at once. and we want it with amortization, or what's it called? We want to pay a little bit each year.
Now, you are entitled to do that, but when you've got a release clause, as soon as somebody activates a release clause, then the process of the transfer goes. So we need to do that. We need to, before we do anything about release clause activation, need to go in. Can we do this? If we can, we will put you that offer on the table at the end of December, ready for the 1st of January.
Yeah. But Sean comes in and say clubs are allowed to release clauses to be paid in installments these days. Yes, they are, but
we pay more money.
Yeah, but I think we need to pay a little bit extra. When you pay in installments, you have to give a little bit extra. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So we need to negotiate this deal. Is what I'm saying. So it's not like straightforward release clause.
Yeah, you're right, Jarvis. The whole idea of a release clause, particularly in Spain, Portugal, and Europe, is you put the money in escrow. So money goes into an escrow account, and that's it. As soon as you activate the release clause, that is it. Nobody can do anything about it. You have to start the negotiation of the transfer. We will do exactly the same. We will put the offer on the table, and the amount will be agreed to go into escrow. And then the amount, like we did with Cunha, will be then done over that period. So we've done it before, and I think we'll be able to do it again. If City went in and offered 60, I don't know what the release clause is. Is it 65, is it, mate? Or whatever it is anyway. Just say City go in and offer 65 straight.
Yeah.
But that's the release clause. We go in and offer 30 million up front. That's still, and the rest over that's still the release clause. If we give them more money, then they may consider that. But then Semenyo has two choices. The choice is United or City, or then Liverpool come in and offer the release clause. It's then Liverpool.
Yeah. But to go back to my theory, if he comes in, I see Ahmad has cemented his place on the right wing back. We have Mbeumo and Cunha. We have Sesko in the 9. So the only open spot I would say that's still worth fighting for is the left wing back. Currently, we have one guy who's the left wing back, and maybe someone have heard something about this. I don't know if you remember this one.
Oh, I remember that one. All right, yeah, disgraceful tackle. I still
do you think Dalot has a horn in the side of Semenyo?
I'm not really sure.
Could it be possible?
Well, look, if I was Dalot, I'd be saying, I'd be in his ear all game. This is what you should be doing. So when you come to United, we know you got a release clause, mate. Come on, just tell us. I'll tell the gaffer to sign you. That's what you were doing. No, really interesting. I'd agree with you. I do think that it should be something we should be considering and we should be trying to do. If we get him in, the money for Neves is. It's just chicken feed. It's just nothing. If it's 20 million, it's just nothing. And that is a deal you have to do, Jarvis. You've got to do that deal. You cannot not do that deal. That's just dumb. You don't even entertain that deal, Jarvis. It's dumb.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I think I think Neves has done his time. I think he went way too early to Saudi Arabia, but he's obviously gone for the money. This proves it. And he wants to come back. So
let's bring up the Neves thing, because this came out. Chris Wheeler comes in and say Rúben Neves is keen on a return to the Premier League and has emerged an option for Manchester United in January. And Al-Hilal are prepared to let him go for around 20 million pounds. But the full article says 18 to 20 million pounds. So it's not set. So it's maybe less than
you can pick him up for about 15 or 16, Jarvis.
It could be. We could negotiate down the price a little bit, and we know with the current state, every little million counts. But
no, it doesn't. I think you would negotiate that deal down if they come to you anything between 18 and 20. Okay, we'll offer you 15.
Yeah,
and that's what I would do, and then you go back in and you try and do a deal at 16 and a half.
So again, is this a deal we should go for? But I think it depends on a lot of things. and this came out a couple of days ago. Hasn't been talked about much, but Nice are trying to sign Manuel Ugarte on loan in January, and the place is open to leave Manchester United next month. But he's not particularly keen on Nice. This is the thing. He has to be convinced in a way. And we know Nice is Ineos owned, so there is a deal that should be easy to make. But is Ugarte willing to go to the French league? And he's been in the French league before. Maybe it's not suiting him. Maybe he doesn't like the food in France. I don't know, but maybe Nice is not a big enough club. But I don't know. If you were Ugarte, would you go out on a loan for 6 months? You have the World Cup coming up. He needs to be in form. He needs to play for Uruguay.
He's got to go out on loan. If he wants to go to the World Cup, he's not currently. He won't make the World Cup squad unless Uruguay have really got a bad squad. He won't make it. So if Uruguay are in the World Cup, which I presume, and I can't remember, I'm guessing they are, then in which case he needs to go out on loan. And if he goes to Nice and he plays and he has a stellar 6 months, irrespective of whether you like it or you don't want to go, but it guarantees your World Cup position, you'd be a fool not to. So going out on loan, then the ball comes to him and says, Nice are interested in you, would like you to go. Then his question and his agent's question will be, what game time am I going to get? Because if I'm coming to you with the same game time at Manchester United, I may as well stay at United. Not interested. If you're going to guarantee me game time, he can stipulate this. This is where a player can stipulate it. If you want me on loan, you want me.
Yeah.
I need to play for Uruguay in the World Cup. I need to play football. Those are my 3 criteria. You want me. I want to go to the World Cup. I have to play football. You should earn game time, Sean. Totally agree. But I think a loan's a little bit different, where you can almost dictate your own terms. And if he gets a no to one of those, he might decide that's not it, and he might decide to stay at Manchester United. We could force him out, but then there'll be a cost element to that. We'll have to pay some kind of salary, but probably pay 3/4 of the salary if we forced him out. If he goes on his own volition, we might be able to pay 30% of the salary. There are a few things that have to be considered when he goes on loan. But if he wants to go to the World Cup, Jarvis, he has to go on loan because he just isn't going to play for Uruguay. Would you pick him if you're the Uruguay gaffer right now? No. Pick him. Unless you've really depleted squad, nobody better than him to take his place, for example, then he goes. If the answer to those are they've got a better squad, they don't necessarily need him, he doesn't go. So those are his choices. Kobe Mainu, right, Jarvis, ain't got a hope in hell at this point in time of going into the World Cup. It just isn't going to happen. There's way too many players that are ahead of him in the pecking order. And even so much that Alex Scott, from Bournemouth, came on after 8 minutes, has played for England at least once or got in the England squad at least twice this season. Yeah. Mainu just isn't. Mainu's choices are his own choices. Ugarte's got a different choice to make, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting, but I think we are getting closer to a realistic deal getting done in January. Let's say Rúben Neves in 16, 17 million pounds, Ugarte out on loan. Rúben Neves will be like the long-term option, but not the final solution for this midfield. 28 years of age. He could do the Casemiro role, as far as I understand. When I look at him and his stats, his role in the team is more defensive-minded. But he also contributes with goals and assists, and he has good attributes to play in this midfield. What I question is his recovery pace, because I still think we need a better recovery pace in this midfield. Someone with quicker legs, if we are high up the pitch, someone who can actually attach to the players running with the ball and push them out of the way, and win the ball back. But I like the Neves option, because if everything goes as we suspect now, Bruno is out, Casemiro is out in the summer, we lose a lot of experience. And I think we need players with a little bit more experience. It's okay to bring in Wharton. It's okay to bring in, other players. But they are still young, and when the tough gets going, a little bit of experience goes a long way. We all saw it, for example, in the Europa League last season. In the quarterfinal, semi-final, there were one player standing out, and that was Casemiro, almost dragging us over the line going into the final. So experience is still important, even though Ineos wants this first and second professional contract type of player, young guys coming in with the resale value. But for 16, 17, 18 millions, I think Neves is the deal we should look at seriously.
Look, I totally agree. Gallagher on loan would be a deal you should look at as well in January, if you can affect a really cheap January by taking a loan and a paid for player. People don't like Gallagher. I thought he was excellent at Crystal Palace. I don't care what anyone says, he was phenomenal at Crystal Palace. He was, Jarvis, because we've spoken about it in the past. He was fantastic for Palace. We don't get a deal to go and play for Simeone, because he would have had a role specifically for him. And I know he's been in and out of the team, but he has played for Madrid, but he does know the Premier League. So they won't, a lot of fans won't like it. I think the fans will like the Neves deal, because they'll all remember Blau, by the way, is on an absolute roll at the moment. Fabian Delph's my favourite by far. Delph is in DELF. Jarvis, the elf. That's my favourite so far. Take Nicholas Bedner. He's Lord. Wouldn't it be Lord? Nicholas Bedner.
Lord Bentner. Yeah. Pay some respect to Lord Bentner.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So ultimately, those two are great deals. I agree with you. I think Ugarte 100% goes. Somebody asked the question: would you move Ugarte and would you move Mainu out the team in January? The Mainu decision is going to be made with what happens in January midfield wise.
Well, it came out from Sky. I don't know how reliable Sky is anymore, but Sky came out with this report about Kobe Mainu earlier tonight, and saying Manchester United will only consider selling Kobe Mainu in January if they receive an exceptional offer. So it needs to be a lot of money, and United do not want to sell him, and are equally reluctant to see him leave on loan. So according to this, I think Mainu is actually staying. But I don't know if the club is punishing him, or they're not giving in to his player demands, or if they really rate him and wants him to stay.
I don't have a problem with that, Jarvis. Go ahead. Make an example of any player. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. But what's an exceptional offer? Because you're not going to get an exceptional offer for somebody who's going to kick the ball. When he did come on against Bournemouth, he didn't really set the world alight, did he? So, Sebastian's gifted a membership.
Big up, Sebastian. Thank you so much, Sebastian, coming in with
sorry, mate. Big up, Zeb. Top man.
Gifted one Tactical Devils membership to Cyan Blooded coming in. Thank you so much, Sebastian. And Cyan, remember to thank Sebastian in the chat.
You legend. You legend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I thought he was going to give it to the Jarvis Chop.
No. The Jarvis Chop don't need any members.
It doesn't need any favors, the Chop.
No.
Me, the Chop.
I'm just going to say something we mentioned about Gallagher. When he played, he was on loan for West Brom, I believe. He played West Bromwich when they I think around the 2020 or something, they played in the Premier League. And he played a really good game against Manchester United. He was playing in the 10 for West Brom, and that was when he first caught my eye, Gallagher. So there is a player in there, I think he's good, but
what's his heat map?
Is he good enough? Let's
have a look at his heat map. If you can find if you can't.
I have a heat map ready, but it's not Gallagher. We can look at Gallagher, but first of all, it's about the Rúben Neves thing, because I'm not done with the Neves. I know we are all over the place right now, but if you look at Rúben Neves's heat map for the season compared to Casemiro, you have Neves on the left and Casemiro on the right. So and I don't know, but Al-Hilal, they are one of the best teams in the Saudi league, always going forward. So obviously his heat map will be higher up on the pitch, but I think you still see a guy with the defensive awareness. He's covering the... Yep.
But you can't circle on that, but there it is. It's look at the deep red right in the center, right in the spine of the heat map.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I know you can't. Can you?
Actually, I can make a circle. I have my drawing tool. So you're talking about this.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Red.
That's that's brilliant. That shows an awareness, a spatial awareness, and a intelligence to sit deep when we need him to. That is what you're looking for, just to start with, and then look what else he offers you.
Yeah.
So
you have deep red on both sides. So when I see this, he's obviously patrolling behind the attacking line and wins the second balls in these areas. So
correct. That's what I see.
Yeah.
You might want to remove those.
I don't know, Stu, why every drawing I make
oh, fucking Jesus. I'm sorry, Devilish Tacticos. I am a child. There's absolutely no two ways about it. I'm a child and I like stuff like that. That was very funny. But what you were saying is absolutely true. Yeah. So he offers you the defensive side of it, the shielding side of it, and the attacking side of it. Really all-round footballer.
Yeah. But as Mark comes in and says, the heat map depends on formation.
Yes,
100%,
absolutely,
100%. I would suspect most of the teams when you are going into attack, you're all the teams attack in a 2-3-5 or a 3-2-5 formation, or the 3-1-6. So basically, almost every team plays the same formation nowadays. When you look at it, go into the details.
He loves a long-range screamer as well.
Yes.
Sean, I did see your message, by the way. Drop me a message next week. Let me know where you are, dates-wise, and we'll do something 100%. Look forward to meeting you, pal. I really do.
Yes, Sean is going to the UK.
Yeah, I know I'm definitely at Old Trafford on the 30th for the Wolves match. And we're going to be in Hotel Football around 2-ish for some dinner. So I don't know when you go back. So keep me looped in. And we will 100% get it.
And if you have any stalkers in the chat, you know where to find Stu.
Yeah, yes. So Jarvis. It's a tricky one, that one, Bilal. That is a tricky one. So Jarvis.
I'm more of a Rembrandt,
Sean, that is superb, mate. I'll give you my you call it a cell phone, don't you? I'll give you my cell number. Sound American now. I'll give you my cell. No, that wasn't right. I'll give you my cell number, and we'll get together and we'll sort that out, because it'd be brilliant to meet you. But we will definitely be at Hotel Football. So yeah. Look forward to it, pal.
And you guys should make a short or something, like a clip.
We'll do a short. Yeah, we'll do a short
on the stream. Yeah, for the rest of the guys to see that.
Jamie
Wayne, actually, yeah.
Jamie Wayne would like I want that free Mino t-shirt to piss people off, proper shithousery. Jamie, that would be great, but I would imagine you've got a touch more class about you than just wearing a £1 or a 50 pence t-shirt that he clearly got out of a sales bin, and went to the cheapest printer he could possibly get to put 4KB on water. So that's it. We are children when dealing with the team we love, bro. Absolutely, I totally agree with it. Here's a question for you, my old mate.
Yes. Well, I answered this many of times. When I was younger, I started out as a winger.
Here we go.
Left wing. When I came up to the men's football, I first started out as a fullback, but when I gradually learned the game, I went into the midfield. I played the 8, I played the 6, I played the 10. So, you know,
Yes.
that's my history of football. But
I'm sorry, what was the nickname?
strangely
Sorry, what was the nickname? Sorry, I forgot. Sorry, I must have missed that part.
What?
Oh, what? Listen to him.
My old coach, he used to call me Garincha when I played as a
Garincha.
winger. Yeah. Because I'm quite of a dribbler, and you know, I'm very critical to Bruno a lot of the time because of his waving with his arms and yelling at his teammates and all of this. You know, trying to be everywhere. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit similar as a player. You know, you wouldn't like me on the pitch.
I would. If Sebastian doesn't, depending on your age, Seb, we don't want to cast aspersions on your age, but if you don't know Garincha, look him up because he was some player. I will say that he was some player.
He played for the Brazilian team 1958, 62, 66. You know, and he was quite special. He was a flair type of player, a dribbler.
Strong.
And you know, people, when you looked at him, he had the quite what's it called, a very special way of running, because he had one leg shorter than the other.
He did, yes. But he never
he was kind of limping when he was running.
Yeah, he never had a boot to even up his stride. I remember that. There's one thing, he never had a boot to even up his stride. So there was only a very small you know, discrepancy, but it did affect his side of the move. But my God, he could fucking play football, irrespective. Just imagine, Jarvis, if his legs were the same length. Just imagine. So.
Well, you know, that was back in the days. Didi, Vava, Garincha, Pele, all of these great legends of the Brazilian team that won the World Cup 3 times, might I say. You know, that's quite an astonishing performance, even back in the days. Yeah,
no, absolutely fantastic. Good question, Sebastian. Jarvis always likes to talk about his position.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Brilliant.
He asks questions about Stu. You know, he never gets to tell about his former days as a goalkeeper, and you know, he was sitting out on the left side of the bench a lot of the time, and
it was absolutely brilliant in goal. Seb, if I'll tell you, I am currently a centre half, still playing for Tipton Town Super Vets, as all the devilish tacticos know. So I still play centre half and skipper. Well, keep the skipper part down because I'm not really too keen on that. But played left back, played right back. But my younger days, I was a CDM holding midfielder. Used to like to score the odd goal now and again. Never played out in the wing. Played up front for a few games, but I'm a decent finisher. But I was never consistent in front of the goal. But I just love the. I love centre half. It's fantastic. It's one of my favourite position of all time. So I know you didn't ask me yet, Seb, but there you go. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a bio there. Mal started a movement. Free Woolly. I was waiting for him to go with Free Willy, but you know, we'll go with Woolly. Free Woolly is absolutely fine.
Brilliant, Bilal.
Jamie would wear that t-shirt, wouldn't you, Jamie, my old mate? He would wear Free Woolly. Hey, no problem, no problem at all, mate. If you let us know where you play, your positions, if you're playing out Mauritius, anything like that. We always like to know. Sometimes we have a lot of discussion about favourite footy boots, socks, or whatever. We just go on a tangent occasionally, so you're more than welcome to pop in what you like and what you don't like. In the UK at the minute, Jarvis, I don't know what it's like in particularly in Norway, but there's more and more 80s clothing coming back, such as your Rolessa, your Sergio Tacchini, and your Specials and your Sambas and all of those. And there's a few shops been going around for a while now, but they're really coming into fruition. But I was never really used to wear Tacchini and Alessi and stuff of that nature. So what about yourself? Aquascutum and Burberry and that?
I'm just looking up somewhat
carry
we
on.
talked
Yeah,
about
sorry.
Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, you carry on. Yeah.
Conor Gallagher's heat map. So, again, I see a type of Bruno type of player is everywhere on the pitch.
Oh.
I don't know, Stu. What do you read from this heat map?
Oh. I tell you what I do read from that heat map: an engine, and a proper engine.
Yeah.
So that and he doesn't dick about in the opposition final third, and he doesn't dick about in our final third. He dicks about in the area where we want him to piss about in, and that is the middle third, the real crux, the engine room. So he really interesting. That is a real engine, Jarvis. That isn't somebody who's slowing down in certain areas. He operates. Most of his heat map is here on the left, isn't it?
But if you look at this, we see a strong red on this side. And that will be in Mbumo Ahmad's area all the time.
Yes.
So maybe, but he's not on the left. We have Bruno and Cunha in this area all the time. So he's not in Bruno and Cunha's area. He's more in.
He'd be a perfect foil, though, wouldn't he, for Cunha?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Neves is better. I love Neves, by the way, but that is an interesting heat map. What I'm saying is he fits nicely into a box. So yeah. Here he is. Amorim, we trust.
I'm just going to say, when it comes to both of these players, I wouldn't mind any of them, to be honest. I think they both come in and do a good job. I don't know the pace of Gallagher compared to Neves, but I would prefer the paciest of them, the guy with the highest recovery pace, because this is where I think we lack the most.
Yes, so that's interesting. Seb used to play right back and then right wing. He doesn't have time. He's got a hectic job. Well, you always try and find time, buddy, to kick that ball around. So Jarvis hadn't played for about 10 years. He came out of retirement about 2 months ago, and he was dying for a week after that. It's finally recovered. And then, to his dismay, he had to play a charity match the weekend just gone. But he's got that buzz now because he's playing futsal Wednesday.
Two games too, and now I'm starting to train regularly in futsal once a week.
Yeah.
And we had practice yesterday. I had to go off 10 minutes before the practice ended. When you're getting older, and I walked off with a strained groin, so it's not good. I couldn't run anymore.
Well, don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. I can't run anyway, so you just actually look after that, mate, because a groin at our age is no good.
I know. I was stretching for the ball, while I was. My body weight went the other way, and I was stretching out the foot, and I was leaning forward at the same time. So I stretched. Yeah, and suddenly I just felt that the pain, So it is what it is. But
you got to be careful, mate.
Today, but I think I did the right choice. I walked off and said that's it for me today, and it's not too bad, so I can still walk and I'm good. So probably I will be back next week.
No.
Yes. No. Yeah, but as you said, you don't have to run. You can walk.
Well, that's true.
Especially in futsal, small sprints.
Sean did his groin. He was out for 3 months. I luckily, touch wood, and this is wood. I've not done my groin. My quad, Sean, was my most painful injury I've ever experienced. And unfortunately for me, I was chasing an 18-year-old at the time, and it was about 3 years ago. So we didn't go down you shouldn't be chasing an 18-year-old for a start, but it was 4 years ago. So it was like a dad's match. Jakey was a little bit older. He was 20. But I was chasing an 18-year-old, and he got the better of me, because 18-year-olds do that. But I was chasing, and all of a sudden, pop, my quad went, and I yelped. I've never yelped on a football pitch in my entire life, but fuck me, that hurt. Worst injury I've ever sustained, that is. Bilal says futsal is cool. Have you ever heard of Border League? Yes, we do. I mean, it's not that good. I don't like it, Bilal. It's on Sky on a Monday night here. I don't quite like it. Amir Fakir, welcome to my club, biggest and best in the world. Absolutely. Jamie Wade, Raymond Pierce's ribbing Jamie, left back in the dressing room and on the coach, mate. No. Let's have a look. Ankle ligament tear a little more than a year ago. My most painful. Ouch. Couldn't work for a few months. With ligaments. Jamie says, I've got experience in a football game. I went to United tournaments at Old Carrington. Second time I got autographs off West Brandon. Brilliant. Back in '94, Jamie, we went to the Old Cliff. We were invited. We were the only team in Shropshire invited to take part in an international festival by Manchester United at that time. And that was fucking brilliant. That was the year, Jarvis, my old mate, the original, very, very first Predators were released, 94. And I had them. I had a pair. Little story for you.
I'm just making a pause to 2 seconds. I want to ask the chat a question about.
So I'll carry on doing these. Baller League, is it a Sunday league? No. Baller League is, Seb, on Sky TV on a Monday night, and it's 6-a-side indoor football, and it's got loads of minor celebrities, ex-footballers, and they have apparently, which is a load of bollocks, by the way, they have a masked player who's supposed to be an active Premier League player, but that would never happen. They just wouldn't be allowed. Just in case he got injured. But you've got certain media influencers, and I call them certain media influencers because real influencers like myself and Jarvis, for example, they won't invite us. They're too scared that we'll put a decent team out and manage them to the Baller League crown. So it's not great, in my opinion, but yeah, it's always worth looking at. Stephanie Griffiths is in the house.
Big up, Stephanie. Good to see you.
30 watching, and we've only got 26 likes. Not bad. Keep it going. Try and get us to 50 if you can. It's on YouTube too. I didn't know that, Bilal. That's the quickest. Yes, I've done on a voting poll. Okay, what was the vote? What was the poll?
Neves. Yes or no?
Okay. Oh, he's done it straight away, Jamie. He's probably the first.
So we have 10 votes so far. 100% yes. Everybody wants Neves. So
Johnny B says it might be the first 100% poll ever.
That's
Sebastian says, at Jarvis and at Stu, you missed my sorry, I didn't realise that. It stopped my football career. I used to play in the first division of the regional league at the time, but injuries from part of the game, right? Yes, it is. What was your injury? Sorry if we've missed it. I didn't mean to. Here's one for you, Jarvis. Stephanie says, vote, like, subscribe, and comment. Yes, please. Here's one for you, Jarvis.
Okay.
If you're on the panel with a former player or referee, like past guests, what one question would you ask them about United? Good question.
Ooh, that's a difficult one.
Well, what are you thinking about that? Seb had a meniscus tear, and that is that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Career ender.
Meniscus is a strange one because it's in your knee. There's a soft cushion in your knee, and it just tears to bits, and you have like small bits like floating around in your knee, and so basically you lose the cushion between your bones, so you get your bones grinding in your knee, and terrible. It's always like almost a career-ending injury, meniscus, and every footballer got them, especially back in the days in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, Sean says Neves in January, Anderson in the summer. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. But do you think we will improve with it? Let's say we have a midfield of Anderson and Neves compared to Bruno and Casemiro. How will we improve? And will we improve? Because we will lose the creativity of Bruno, the goal creation and the assists, and we will lose a little bit. So what I said the other day, I think we will see a vacuum created when Bruno leaves, and now I'm almost 100% sure that we will drop in performance, at least the first 2-3 months without Bruno, before we will see players stepping up, taking on responsibility, and we will get the assist and goals evenly spread out throughout the team.
But I think other players have got to step up to the plate. People are, Mason Mount, for example, step up to the plate. Make yourself, because I thought he had an excellent game against Bournemouth. He's been playing really, really well, Mason Mount, at the moment. So, we can't rely on Bruno forever. You've got to make that choice. It's a hard choice, but we have to make that choice. So I think it's 100% improvement. I think Danny B says it, and I agree. And Sean says Never's got an eye pass. But your point's relevant, Jarvis. It's the question to ask, isn't it? It's the same with Semenyo. Yeah, well, we get Semenyo, where'd you play him?
But when it comes to this midfield, I think, yes, we know the strengths of Bruno, and I think we know the weaknesses of Bruno. But when Bruno leaves, if he leaves, it sounds like he's leaving now. He's pushing his way out of the club, or maybe he's been told that he's leaving the club, and this is his way to take control of the narrative, coming out early. A lot of people have a saying that, but for me, I think when Bruno leaves, I think we will struggle a little bit, and how long, it's hard to say, but maybe it will last for 3 to 5 months, before we will get players stepping up, and it could cost Amorim the job. Actually, it could cost Amorim the job.
It could, but do you know what?
Let's say we sign a couple of players, we look good, we come into the next season, no Bruno, and suddenly we don't have anyone who can score goals and assists anymore, and
we've had to do it before, though. I mean, I don't want to go back onto the Fergie debate, by the way, but he famously, sorry, Hughesy, sorry, Robbo, sorry, Brucey, sorry, you've had your time at the club. We need to move on. We've got to do it. We have to do it. And if you go through a year of pain to do it, you go through a year of pain. It's not as if we've won shitloads, Jarvis, in between, is it? I know we've won trophies, don't get me wrong. But it's not as if we've won shed loads. So I think sometimes you got to take that risk. You really do, in my opinion.
But I think, highest of them all is it all of the UK? Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis have climbed it. Ben Nevis is part of the. Well, it's actually part of the. Oh my God! Come on, Stu, you've done it. The 3 peaks, fucking hell. We've got three peaks. So you do Nevis, Scafell Pike, and Snowdonia, and you're supposed to do it in 24 hours. But we did it over 3 days. So we climbed Nevis first, then you drive down overnight to Scafell, and then you go across to Snowdon. We did it for my dad passed away, so we did it a few years ago. We did it for cancer research. So we did it for my dad. And cancer. It's fantastic, Ben Nevis, but it was pissing down with rain. It was cold. We got to the top and came straight back down.
Okay. How tall? How many feet?
I don't know. It's not that tall compared to what you've probably got, old friend. Let's have a quick Google on that one.
Have a quick Google. Someone in the chat probably knows.
Somebody already knows it.
Yeah.
Somebody already know it. It is 4,413 feet or 1,345 meters. So it's quite.
That's not bad. 1,300 and that's good. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
So yes,
but it's in the highlands. So you don't start at sea level. You start higher up, or
you start higher up. Yeah.
Okay.
Because about 7 hours, I think, to. Well, there was a slight issue about it. We did stop and coffee. That's coffee. That's the sign for coffee, Jarvis. That's the international sign for coffee.
Yeah.
And not beer. The international sign for coffee.
Okay.
So we did stop on, a couple of times on the way up and had a coffee.
I always assumed this was beer.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's the international sign for coffee. On Ben Nevis it is anyway.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant. Although when you're climbing someone like Ben Nevis, as well as the beer that you may or may not have, you do need a really sweet coffee to, that's caffeine and sugar just to really.
Yeah. It's good. You make a mix of Coca-Cola and coffee, just to get you going.
That is correct. Correct. No beer whatsoever.
No.
It's all about sugar. All about sugar.
The best thing, if you come on the top, you just ice cold.
Oh,
Say no more.
I might have had a Guinness on the way
Might.
to May. Maybe a couple. Who knows? Who knows? It was so long ago, Jarvis. I can't remember. My memory's not what it was.
This is so typical us, too. Every time we sit here talk about football, we
go
out.
off again. Yeah, we're off again. Yeah.
Now we're talking about climbing mountains and peaks and all of this.
That's because we've got life experience. We've got life experience. We have done a lot in our lives. You snow plowing, skiing, ice skating, probably ice hockey. You've done stuff. Whereas us here, we've done. Sorry, what am I drinking? It's, believe it or not, it's just my usual. What is it? Multivitamin tablet.
Orange juice.
Or vitamin
C
tablet. Yeah.
But by the way, talking about life experience, I just bought a new machine today.
Here it is.
Yes.
Whoa.
So this is.
Look at that.
So I was actually out testing this earlier tonight just to see how it runs. So if you ever tried
surrounding the bucket there, because it looks like in that picture you got that red car in the bucket and you
it's not. I just parked there, So if you're ever into construction and big machines, this is part of what I do for a living. Well, it mostly implies with plowing snow.
It cost you a few grand, my old mate.
Yes.
Won't say how much, but I'm sure it's probably more expensive than my car. And my car's not cheap.
Yeah. Way twice or three times a car.
I would imagine, and my car's not cheap, and I'd imagine that is a lot of money. But there you go. It needs doing. What we got, Stu? Try little Guinness shots. Tim Maria and Bailey's. Okay, well, I haven't tried that. I will give that a go. Sean's already nicknamed your vehicle. It's the Chopmobile. Absolutely brilliant.
To the Chopmobile.
You need to get that on. You need to get that on your thing. We've got a question, I think. Yes. So it's just me. 43 says, Jarvis and Stu, do you think Bruno should be shown in January? Given his comments to the media earlier this week. No, but definitely in the summer. I think he's gone in the summer. It's just me, 43. I don't think we could. I'm based on really, Jarvis, what you're talking about the creativity side. Unless we get somebody in that can replace him immediately, and we get the deal we want from Saudi Arabia, because I think that's where he'll go. But if you notice, he came out the day after, said, I'd like to experience Spain.
And
Italy. And Italy and everywhere else in the fucking planet. So who knows?
Saudi, and you want to go back to Portugal, we mentioned all the names, he's putting himself out there, to be honest. And this was just a promotion video of Bruno, because he knows the club don't want him anymore. They want to try to sell him in the summer. And I think he's a little bit disappointed, because I think he gave it all for the club, and this is what he gets gets back, and loyalty doesn't give him anything. So I think maybe he's a little bit bitter and sore because of this, but this is the life of football. Many great players have had to end their career one day or another. We all remember, for example, Roy Keane when Fergie took him out of the club, and Roy Keane was 34 years of age in that time and on the decline. So Fergie felt it was time, and he got an excuse, and off he went.
That's the point with Roy. He got that excuse, didn't he? Roy was always going to give him an excuse, and he did. Sebastian is a member for 1 month.
Big up, Sebastian, coming in with a membership chat. And if you become a member, you have a free membership chat you can use. And Sebastian coming in and say, big up, Tactical Devils. Really love the channel. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Sebastian, thank you.
Bilal is on a roll tonight. Angel Di Maria is now Angel Tia Maria. Absolutely brilliant. I'm entertaining Bilal. Here, buy some orange juice, Stu. Thank you so much. That's absolutely brilliant. It's yes, it's at my age. I take multivitamins every day, and I like to drink it. So, but I'm running out. I'm running out. Although there's a great film talking about
running out of tea.
Yes, I know. Talking about OJ very quickly, and I've gone completely off topic here, but if every one of you remembered or seen the film Harlem Nights,
Yes, I've seen it.
so Vera in there, she's in the kitchen making a sandwich, and Benny, the old guy who's got he can hardly read, and they call each other all things under the sun. Why would you just leave a swallow in the container of orange juice? What the hell's the point in doing that and all that? And he's shut up, you dumb bitch, and all that. Fucking love Harlem Nights. So if you ever get a chance, Harlem
Is it
Nights.
Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy and
Eddie
Richard Pryor.
Murphy. Yes.
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. Absolutely funny as fuck. Funny. I think that Arsenio Hall is in it as well. He plays a gangster.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's, I'm going to kill you quick. And then he gets shot. Absolutely brilliant. I love that film. Anyway, crikey, what is wrong with us tonight, my old mate? We've done an hour and we haven't even touched on the
we still have the Villa preview, so we got at least spent a little time on this. We have Rogue I2 coming in and say always ends in tears. Yes, that's how careers most of the time do. But Bruno, I think he has more to give, but he's not feeling the time to step down. But if the club don't want him, he said clearly, if I'm not wanted, I will look elsewhere. And I don't think Bruno wants the club to decide the narrative of him leaving. And we all know it could end in tears, and it still can end in tears. That's the thing. But let's hope Bruno have a hell of a rest of the season and wanders off into the sunset, as a hero.
Yes, why not?
Yeah,
why not? Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, it's time. But thank you so much for the super chat, Bella.
Well, absolutely brilliant, and I will invest in some Oj just for you.
Let's go to the preview. So this is not my team. It's from
what we're going to do. Seb has asked. Seb, we're just about to tackle that now, mate.
Yes. This is what we are going to talk about. So this is not my team. It's SofaScore's Footmob's predicted lineups. So if you look at let's see, Man United, you have. I'm on the wrong page. But if you look at Man United, Lamens, Maguire is apparently back.
He's back. He's fit. Yeah, he's
Heaven, Shaw, Casemiro, Bruno, Dogu on the right, Dalot on the left, Cunha, Mount, and Sesko. So what do you reckon about that team, Stu? And what would have you done differently? If you look up here, you see the subs. I don't know if De Ligt is still.
Well, I was going to ask. Injured. We won't know until tomorrow, will we? So if De Ligt is not injured, I would pull in De Ligt obviously for Heaven. De Ligt, Maguire, and Shaw's our best back.
Yeah. If De Ligt is fit, but
or does he go? Does he ping it and go for a back four? Does he try it against Villa?
Yeah, but I think we see the back four is here. This is the back four. It all depends.
Yes, but maybe he actually starts with a back four and he doesn't start with the wing backs. Maybe he.
But I still feel that we will defend with 5.
We'll defend with 5
because they always attack in a 2-3-5 formation. So they will have 5 attackers, trying to pin us down. So let's say they do something like this. And something like this. They will have five guys high up. So we will go into a back 5 eventually anyway.
Yeah, eventually, because we'll be forced into that.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to have Bruno and Casemiro squeezed. So they're in the middle, and then Cunha and Mount a little bit wider. Exactly.
Something like this.
Yeah, and that's how
we defend in a 5-4-1.
But I don't want to see Sesko there, though. I want to see Sesko pushed, so we can't allow Lindelof or whoever to cross the halfway line as a centre half. That is one of our biggest problems when we are defending, in that we are defending with Sesko or with the attacker deep, and we can't have that. Nobody else does. We seem to just do it. I would like to see De Ligt come in. I hope he's fit. I don't know if he is. But I did hear Maguire was back, and I would think Maguire comes straight back into the team.
Yeah. But if you're going to talk a little bit about Villa, we can talk more about Man United and get into the comments. I just want to have my say when it comes to Unai Emery. What I know from him, he likes to go into a compact mid block. If you see the compactness, you see McGinn here on the right wing. He's not a right winger. Obviously, he's a midfielder, and I think he will be trying to create this square as we have talked about many of times when it comes to the midfield. So these four guys will create that square. You will have Watkins, and I think Rodgers will be the one up in attack. So in a way, you will see the Aston Villa team in a 4-2-2 in a lot of the time. How they actually play. They are on paper a 4-2-3-1 formation. What I've seen from the Villa games, I see they Emery is very methodical, structural when it comes to the setup of the play. When he plays out from the back, he likes to move one of the fullbacks high and wide. Let's say we go with Matty Cash high and wide, and the back three will form into a back three like this, unless Madsen also goes high and the goalkeeper Bissot or Martinez, I don't know who will play, will come in and be the third centre back.
Martinez is injured. That I like. Yeah. I want him to be. See, this is the problem. You see, I want the keeper to be the third centre back. You're crying out for that. If you push Cisco where he fucking should be, and that is up top. So they can't be a third centre back. Is what I'm getting at. The keeper can't be a third centre back. So you stop.
You want the goalkeeper. You want the striker to block the passing lane between the centre backs.
I do. Yeah. So you're then forcing either Madsen or Cash to at least step back in. So you're stopping that initial. Okay, you're right about Cash more than Madsen. I think Cash is very elevated, isn't he, up the pitch? Didn't he score the other day?
But the thing is, I think Rodgers operates like a winger. Sometimes he cuts inside, like our number 10s. And what I see now, because last season I think they were even more methodical when it came to playing out from the back. But we've seen the change in the Premier League this season, and a lot of teams go more direct, and you see a lot of long balls, especially trying to find Watkins. And Watkins, he drags himself into this area on the pitch. He goes closer to Rodgers, and you will see a lot of long balls directed to Watkins, and Rodgers will be around. Tielemans will be around trying to pick up the second balls. So this is mainly how I see the Villa attack being played a lot of the times.
Easily stopped though, and you stop it by pushing Casemiro on Tielemans. Because you're absolutely right. Tielemans will pick up the second ball. He'll either pick it up from Watkins or pick it up from Rodgers 100%. So you've got to stop Tielemans in this. Do you remember, was it last season he destroyed us? Tielemans. He absolutely killed us. Onana, we know, is their go-to guy. He's their push guy. He'll be the one that will snap into tackles, try and dismount. I would imagine he'll
destroyer. He's the destroyer in this midfield.
I think he'll go at Cunha. I do personally. I think Onana will go towards Cunha more than Mount, and that might be favourable to us. But Tielemans for us is going to be the one, and I would put Casemiro on him. I'm not saying completely man mark him, but mark him zonally so that you're able to stop the second pick off. Because you're absolutely right. Watkins is great at just knocking the ball down to him.
Yeah. But if we try to press high, I suspect they could even go with the goalkeeper as the third centre back, but he will be a little bit in behind. Let's say if the ball goes to Konsa and we put Sesko in the middle, they could use the goalkeeper again and directly go long. If they trap us, because Unai Emery likes to set traps.
We forgot
both in the build-up and also when it comes to the press. They're not going all out. Gung-ho pressing, but they will try to set up triggers, and when the right players of ours get the ball, they will set in the press.
But that's okay. We are forgetting Casemiro is suspended. We forgot, didn't we?
Yes, Casemiro is out, so we need actually to go for a player like Kobe Mainu in this
I think you
setup.
might put Mainu in there.
Yeah.
In which case, then you push Mainu on Tielemans. Anyway, that's beside the point. You're right about the trap setting, but this is where I feel as a team we're completely unintelligent. Yeah, we go gung ho into areas we know we're going to get pressed upon. Matty Cash, for example, we know will double press alongside Konsa if Konsa plays when Cunha's got the ball and Cunha's picked it up in this area here. I'm talking about just behind McGinn towards the touchline. We know that Matty Cash will come back in. He's hard in the tackle. He's a bit of a fucker, Matty Cash is. Or he will hit you hard. So we're not going to be able to exploit, I don't think, too much in behind, which means that Dalot should then be able to pick up the loose ball. So Cunha's not going to be able to penetrate directly. He's going to have to penetrate to a position, come back, and then Dalot should be able to operate into the space. Cunha can keep Cash and Konsa occupied and McGinn to an extent because, exactly in that area. Then Dallow's got to come and pick up the loose ball. The problem is with that, though, Jarvis, is what Dalot does with that loose fucking ball.
Yeah, 100%. But he did good against Bournemouth,
he did. Yeah, he did. I agree with you on that one.
And what I liked a lot about him, he didn't go to the byline and try to cross. He stepped inwards and
in that area. Yeah.
So maybe it's something they've been working on. Him on the left playing with his right foot. I think this is the more natural way to go if you want to cross. Or even he did once. He had that bad pass in towards Bruno, and when we lost. So there are risks playing Dalot in this team, and you always have the Dalot-ness story grace, but I don't trust him.
Would you consider they might switch again and put Dorgu left and Dalot right?
No, I don't think so.
You think I'll go with Dorgu right?
Dorgu right and Dalot left.
Well, Dorgu's comfortable, right? Played for Lecce there, didn't he? So we know he's comfortable.
Comfortable? No, it's not comfortable. It's erratic.
No, but he was comfortable for Lecce playing on the right, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he is for us. But then the argument is, do you run with Martinez somewhere in that team?
Yeah, it would have to be for heaven then.
I'd agree.
You have to do something like this.
I would agree.
He could still do a job even though he's left-footed, but I don't know. I would be more comfortable with Maguire centrally. I wouldn't put Maguire on the right. I don't think it's
Maguire
good.
on the right. No, he's got to be centrally. He's got to be central.
Yeah.
See you, Bilal. Have a good one, pal.
Big up, Bilal. Thank you for the super chat.
What was your question? Can you just re-drop that in, please, before you go? I don't think we can. I don't think we can risk Maguire out there. I agree. Watkins is good in the air. Maguire's good in the air, so I think it's great. Would you consider? Yes. So Sean's talking about a flat back four here by starting Martinez and Maguire together, and then Shaw and Dalot.
Yeah, we could do something like this, but then we need a starting left wing back. And who do we got? We have De Ligt, Xerxes, Heaven, Yoro, Ugarte.
I don't think
the only player we have on the bench would be Malacia.
I don't think he would do that. If we went with a flat back four, he would run with Mainu, Bruno.
Yeah, we could do something like this. Play with like a 4-3-3 kind of.
You'd have to bring Xerxes in. I would consider, or maybe they'll bring Ugarte in to shore up. Maybe he goes with Sesko. He goes with maybe Mainu and Ugarte.
We do have Xerxes, but I can't see Xerxes playing.
No, I tell you what. I think what he'll do is, if he does that and Sean's right, I think he goes with.
The only option I could see would, as you said, we could play Luke Shaw on the left, and put Martinez on the left, and then go with a play like Yoro besides Maguire or Heaven.
Yeah, I tell you what I think he'll do. If we do a back four, it'll be Martinez, Maguire. I think he'll. Okay. So if you take out Yoro and Heaven, Martinez, Maguire, put Shaw at left back.
It must be this Martinez on.
Move Mount out to the left side, opposite Cunha, and then you're putting Ugarte. I think he'd run Ugarte, Maino, and Bruno. That's, I think, what he'd do. Now, I'm not saying that's a great team, by the way. I'm not. But I think from a balance point of view, Jarvis, that's not bad if you play 4 at the back. If you play 3 at the back, I think it'll be close to what you picked.
As I said, there will be this box midfield or maybe a little bit more of a diamond, but there will be a central squeezed, compact central line of Aston Villa with this box 4 players, and I think they will. We need at least 3 players inside to match them. I feel at least 3 players if we're ever going to win this.
Well, that would do it. That would do it. But you would utilise Cunha and Mount a little bit more. So you'd press Ugarte. So Bruno.
And even if Sesko is higher up, Mainu or Bruno could be the highest one. Let's say
Bruno behind,
and Mount can invert.
Correct. And then you move Cunha in slightly, but then you push Ugarte back, obviously. Or you'd use either Martinez, as you quite rightly pointed out, or probably Martinez as a bit of a holder. So that could work for us, actually, Jarvis. That could work for us.
Yeah. But then again, what really clicked against Bournemouth was the attacking patterns, the third man runs, the 1-2s, the
team, though, have we to do that?
High intensity. I think we lose out a little bit on the attacking patterns.
Yeah, we haven't got the top. We haven't got the team and the pace to do that. And Buma's got a little bit of pace. Ahmad's got pace. They're out. They're gone. We're not replying. What we're not doing is replacing pace with pace. So
what we do get with fullbacks like this, left-footed Luke Shaw on the left-hand side, Dalot right-footed on the right-hand side, we will have players who can come to the byline, cross into Sesko in the central areas. Maybe that's something we can try to exploit. First touch crosses into Sesko.
Yeah, and this is where your discipline comes in. You drop Ugarte back in and around the Watkins area.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You don't have to drop Mainu. You put Mainu in around St. Tillemans. You've got to stop the Tillemans supply chain. For sure. You have to. McGinn's going to bite in. We know that Anana's going to bite in. Kamara's not.
But I'm not happy with this setup. Let's say Maguire, Martinez, Ugarte, and Mainu is our counter-attacking defense every time we lose the ball, and Villa will start running at us. We know Rodgers have a bit of pace.
But that's where Cunha comes in. Cunha's got to track his man. Rodgers effectively.
But I wouldn't trust Maguire. He's super slow. Martinez is not that quick. Ugarte, maybe. Mainu, not quick at all.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you've got to sacrifice that and you've got to play a little bit deeper. So Maguire and Martinez would play slightly behind. This is all about killing the space for Watkins. You've got to kill the space. You'd move Lamans up to around the penalty area and stop the supply, stop the yardage. Because you're right. If you put him in a foot race, it ain't going to happen. But when it comes to a header, Maguire will beat Watkins all day long with the ball in the air. So I think 100%. You're right. I don't think they'll go height. I think they'll go speed. I agree on that. So for me, you drop Maguire and Martinez in and you push Lemons out to at least.
Sean agrees. Yeah, he agrees. Yeah. But so what is the chat saying when we talk like this? We are just like freestyling.
Story saying Martinez looked very rusty on Monday. Not surprising. This match, I would not start him. I think it might be a question of needs, must there, story. As much as I'd agree with you on that one, it might be a question of needs. Barman says, I hope no more Ugarte. He's next to disaster. Jamie Wayne says the same. Nas comes in and says, I don't trust Martinez anymore. I think the injuries got the best of him. Shall have his former self. Absolutely. Okay, so Kanana Biak assists for Lasanne's winner against Fiorentina. Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. I think I know what you're talking about. What else have we got? Jamie Wayne, I can't believe we paid PSG 50 million. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't believe we turned down Sander Berge for Ugarte. That was.
Did you say Berge? That
was the worst. That was the worst decision ever. I said it right away. Don't go for Ugarte. Go for Sander Berge. What we did.
Sean says we're away from home. No need to be so open and risky right off the bat. Soak up pressure, difficult to break down. I think that if we play 4 at the back, I think it will be a question of trying to soak up. But, we're relatively safe there. But, me and you see the game differently to Amorim, Jarvis. That's the trouble.
Yeah, but I agree with a lot of people in the chat. I don't think we will see Ugarte on the pitch.
I don't think we will either. No, I don't.
But there is a way. We have one player we haven't mentioned, and that's Josh Xerxes. We could play him in one of the 10s, almost like the second striker, with and drop Ugarte and play Mason Mount into the trio of midfield. Yeah. So we could operate almost something like this, Bruno, Cunha could interchange doing the midfield role. But let's say on paper it would be Mount on the left and Mainu as the whole.
Yeah, Mainu would play the 6. I don't like Xerxes in that really. By the way, there's not a better option, so let me just be clear about that. There isn't a better option. I don't particularly like it. I would think you'd be better off putting Xerxes through the middle and Sesko as a 10.
To be honest, that's actually a good option.
I think that'd be your best bet. That's what I would do. Put Sesko as a 10. Yeah.
But it would almost be a 4-4-2 because I think Sesko and Xerxes will be centrally. One of them will be a little bit deeper, and then you have a midfield forward, let's say, almost like this.
That's the only way they can play, pal. It's the only way we can play. You were spot on about Watkins and Rodgers.
Yeah, this could actually work. This could work.
Well, the thing is, you're going to have McGinn and Rodgers are going to go like that. They're going to, they're going to invert as well as play wide. That's what they do. They've always done that. You are going to get the support of Cash. So Shaw is going to have an issue with Matty Cash, but not really.
I will trust Shaw against Cash. I think Shaw is strong enough to stay on his own. Yeah,
so I would trust him as well. And then I think
I would be more worried with
Rodgers is going to be a problem.
I think that was so. It will cost a lot of.
Connor's got a lot of work to do. Connor's got a lot of work to do. But Tielemans is going to be very, very tricky to get a grip of. Mainu, if Mainu does come in on Sunday, Mainu has got to be the one that deals with him.
Yeah,
because we can't allow Bruno to get tangled up with Tielemans, and we can't rely on Mount to get tangled up with Tielemans. We don't want that. We want Mount occupying McGinn. We want Cunha occupying Rodgers and Onana. We want Onana to really try and home in so that Onana's focus is particularly on in and around Cunha, because Cunha is very good at shielding the ball, releasing the ball. So we could do with that. So we almost taking a player out of the equation by doing that. But Tielemans,
Onana is not good on the ball. I wouldn't be worried. I would. Tielemans is the guy to pick out. McGinn.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about,
okay, he will be the guy get the ball ticking.
I'm not talking about Onana on the ball. I'm talking about Onana taking care of Cunha, allowing a space, because Cunha will hold the ball, but Onana's a good tackler. He's the best out of him when it comes to tackling. So if we could push Cunha up against him, you're almost taking Onana out of the equation. And that's what we want. We want him gone. We don't, we want the best tackler occupied, which is why people forget this in football. You occupy the best tackler, best tackler. Did I say Dracula then? Tackler.
Yeah,
yes, and you occupy you occupy their ball player. You occupy those two. It opens the game. We don't do that enough. So I want to see Onana go in on Cunha, and I want to see Mainu have a pop at Tielemans.
But do you see here, we sit here and actually we talk about this, and my gut feeling is this is a weak team. This is a weak team. I don't like the balance. I don't like any of the options we have presented. Maybe the best will be the 4-2-2, but again, where's the width? Is Shaw and Dalot the right to bomb on both sides?
I think we're better at 4-3-3.
But again, I see Villa coming into this 4-2-2 also, you know. So again, I think it will be a game of a lot of duels, you know, and precisions.
Yeah.
It will be tight, second balls, winning everything really, really compact centrally. We will be forced to try to play around. They will be forced to try to play around. You will never be in overloading.
The thing about Villa is, I think we can get out Villa at the back. That's a good thing. You can get out them at the back. If we can get
Lindelof is weak. We know Lindelof is weak.
But you can get at Manchester United at the back, and we've proven that with Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So I don't like the side. I must admit, I didn't realise how weak we were until you realise you got no Mbumo, you realise you got no Ahmad, and you realise you got no Mazzari. You realise you got an injured Maguire, an injured De Ligt, and Martinez, who's we all said not in his best. So there are going to be problems for us. We're not, you know, we were good in front of goal. But if we don't take our chances at Villa, Jarvis, we might be on the end of a 3-0.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yes. What is the chat saying? Lawrence comes in and said it looks like a bleak for Sunday without Casemiro. I wonder if the selection of Ugarte or Menu will just be a way to draw a line under his career at Old Trafford, both on their way out later in January. Yeah.
We're going to see, aren't we? You know, if he picks Mena or he picks Ugarte, we're going to see. Tell us a lot, Lawrence. Apparently,
Helge,
yeah, Helge. Oh, good to see you, Helge. You're due back on, mate. Don't forget. You can join us Sunday if you want, pal. Lacey, I think Story's been talking about, been training with the squad for some weeks, might have been because of the AFCON. Can you see him being used? Don't know, Story. I don't know. Villa Park with Onana in there. McGinn in particular, strong boy. McGinn, strong boy. I don't know whether they'll risk Lacey.
To be honest, if Lacey was in the plans of Amorim, he would have played him by now. You know, we had the chance against Wolves. We were 4-1 up. Why didn't he put Lacey on and just gave him a couple of minutes? And then we all thought, okay, maybe just want to give Lacey his debut on Old Trafford before the AFCON, and you know, he wasn't even in the squad against Bournemouth. So you know, I think this Lacey thing is far away from the Manchester United starting 11. I don't think we will even see him on the bench, to be honest.
77 Retro LP says, push Bruno out right, Ugarte and Mino. We spoke about Ugarte and Mino, didn't we? Cunha left, let's go Mount. Yeah, we spoke about that. We did push. That was in our original
Bruno outright. The problem with Bruno is he has no pace. He's very slow. I think you need at least a minimum of pace to play on the wings. You know, I think, for example, a player like Mason Mount, he has the minimum you need to have for pace to play on the wings, and even him, I would rate as a slow player. So I see that. I understand what you're trying to say, but it's a no for me. No.
Jamie, if AJ doesn't push, if he doesn't get Jake Paul out of there in 30 seconds, it's an embarrassment. Complete embarrassment. You're talking about a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Whether we like it or not, he's a two-time heavyweight unified champion of the world. If he doesn't get Jake Paul out there in 30 seconds or under a minute, it's embarrassing. Completely embarrassing. The fight's a joke. Anyway, it's bad for boxing. Bad for boxing. There's going to be something that will happen that will surprise you, because there's absolutely no way Anthony Joshua is going to go in there and fight the way he would fight against any other pro boxer, because he would seriously damage Jake Paul. It's an embarrassment. Boxing has been stained recently by a lot of bad fights, but this is a fucking awful fight. I don't care that he's getting paid 50, 60, 70 million. Eddie Hearn, everybody involved in this fight from a professional side. I'm not talking Jake Paul's side. I'm talking the professional boxing side. is an embarrassment, and letting this happen is shocking. 10-ounce gloves, right? If you've ever boxed with 10-ounce gloves, it's like being hit with a bare knuckle. They've got no padding. It really is. It just has to go in the first 30 to 40 seconds. If it doesn't happen, the fight's rigged and it's bullshit. Because there's no way in a million years Jake Paul should or could live with Anthony Joshua. People were saying, well, look, Andy Ruiz got him out there, but Andy Ruiz is a professional fighter. Jake Paul may live like a professional, fight like a professional, but until you've been really, really hit, you haven't got it's just a joke. I'm so annoyed about this fight. I love boxing, and I've seen some, and we've all seen some serious injury with professional, dedicated fighters. This should never have happened. He's 2 stone heavier, by the way. He's weighed in 2 stone heavier than Jake Paul. If this is a serious fight, Jake Paul shouldn't last. The first jab, right, and the 10-ounce glove, the first jab should tell Jake Paul, I'm getting out of this fucking ring now. So I think it's a joke. I really do. So Stu, it's even more of a joke now. Fury puts up 1 million for Jake to knock Joshua out. Well, that is quite funny, but then Fury wants to be, and I don't want to see Fury and AJ step in the ring next year, to be honest. I'm not interested in that scrap either. But if Fury has put 1 million for Jake to knock AJ out, that fight doesn't happen. The Fury Joshua fight doesn't happen. So it's just a joke. I'm fed up of certain elements of boxing at the moment. It's just me. 43 says AJ wins. Too much corruption in boxing. You're absolutely right. Let's have a look. Yeah, exactly, Daz. I don't know. In Miami, where it is, it's up to the individual boxing commissions or the boxing board of control, whatever. I think it's the gaming commission in America. They've allowed it to go. So I just don't get it. I'm not going to put Helga. I'm not going to put your comment up because Jarvis wants to touch on that. In a while.
Today came out that the Norwegian, the former Norwegian national coach, also coached Rosenborg, Malmö FF. I think he was the coach of FK Copenhagen. Good coach. He did well, abroad. Qualified for the Champions League several times with both the Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish clubs, and the Norwegian national team. He never took us to the World Cup, unfortunately. As a player, he played for Norwich City and Manchester City. I think he was the first Norwegian guy who ever came to the top division of England, and he passed away today, a Norwegian legend. So rest in peace, Åge Hareide. He was a good guy. So it's one of the, sometimes you also have this in England. You have a couple of like former managers and players, legends, and starting to get into an age, and it's always sad when news like this comes out. So again, I hope his family is okay, and he was a good man.
Yep, our condolences.
Yeah. So now that's said, say again.
I was going to say score predictions, I suppose, then, pal.
Yeah, we got to talk about the score predictions. For me, I think we have a good grip on Aston Villa. We always seem to beat Aston Villa. We won last season in I think it was Boxing Day 3-2. That was actually a really good game.
Yeah, we did.
But we also won away in Villa Park 2-1. Last season, and that was a poor season. So two wins, I believe. Wasn't it? No,
2 wins. I think we got.
We drew. We drew.
Oh, we drew. Sorry. Yeah, we drew.
Yeah. But we haven't lost against Villa since 2002, 6th of November, 3-1. So again, I think this is a game we should apply ourselves to win. I think we should go out there and be positive, even though we lack a couple of players. I think we should be good enough. So my prediction is a lot of goals, 3-2 Man United.
I think there'll be goals. I do. I'm worried. I am worried, mate. I think we're going to win 2-1. And there's a lot of trepidation in my voice, but I think we will win 2-1. And we might score first. And I'm going to go with Cunha.
Okay.
To score first. I think we might win 2-1. Daz says 3-3.
Big up, Daz. It's not an unlikely result, to be honest.
No. 77 Retro LP says 4-2 Villa.
Okay. But we gotta realize unbeaten in, is it nine games now?
Games. Yeah, they've
9
been playing
games.
fantastic football. 4-2 Manchester United. That's end of madness. And Helga says, I'm never going to predict us losing points, so I'm going for a 3-2 as well. Jarvinho.
Okay.
Jarvinho. What else have we got? Yeah, so that's where we are. What was the poll result?
The poll result when it comes to Rúben Neves, we have 39 votes and 85% says yes. Only 15% says no to Rúben Neves. We deserve better comes in and say, if we play the 4-3-3, we draw 2-2. If we go with the 3-4-2-1, we lose 2-1. And if we play the 7-5-1, we win 4-0.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's fair enough. We deserve better, actually. I think those are fair enough. 2-2 draw, 2-1. Yeah, look, it could be. It could be.
It's seldomly I've been sitting here, and doing the team and looking at it, and I'm very, very uncertain what Amorim will do and how he will compose a good balance into this team.
Yeah,
where is the goals coming from?
I'm uncertain also as to what he would do. So, I don't know. I don't know. But, I think we'll have a better idea tomorrow. We'll know if Maguire is 100% fit. We'll know if De Ligt is potentially fit. That changes it. If De Ligt is fit, completely changes it. So,
if Maguire is fit, let's say we could actually do. Oh yeah, we could do it like this. We could do it like this and move out. So if we go with the 3-4-2-1, I think this is the closest to a decent team.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like it, but it's as good as it's.
But we have the defensive stability. We have Luke Shaw and Dalot coming in, dropping into this back five, and we have workers with Cunha and Mount. But I would like someone else than Sesko on top if we play a team like this. I think we need a more mobile number 9.
I think people are going to hate me as well. I think we need to. I think we need a tackler in there as well. We haven't got tackler in there.
Yeah, but you don't have anyone. Okay, let's say we put Manuel on the bench and start Ugarte and Bruno.
I think you start both. I think you start Manuel and Ugarte.
Nah, no way. They haven't had a sniff of the team. You don't put in 2 guys in
really
one position. That will be almost.
Well, sometimes though, you've got to be suicidal, haven't you, to win a game of football?
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. So for me, it's either Ugarte or Manuel, not both of them. I can almost bet money on it. That
I know.
Would never do something like
that. I know, but I just think that I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to choose. It's a difficult one to pick.
It's a tough one. Yeah. But I could see this work. And we would have like Mason Mount coming in and make it a midfield 3, inverting. Cunha would be the second striker, helping out Sesko, and we still would have some kind of balance, but we would have to rely on Luke Shaw and Dalot to be part of the width and keep the width and keep crosses, and I don't think they're good enough.
I mean, either way, you got no pace, whether you put Ugarte in there or Maino, so you got no pace. So
I think Ugarte has a little bit of pace. It's not the slowest one,
not the
especially
slowest,
when it comes to like the 5-yard dash or
But then you'd
And
want
versatile
Ugarte.
players.
Would you trust Ugarte to Mark Tielemans? So that would be my only thing. But that'd be interesting. We'll know more tomorrow.
We will. But I think Amorim has a tough selection in front of him, and
Real difficult one.
Either way, how you twist and turn, you will never get the right balance with these group of players. January can't come quick enough, and I think we need to sign a player right away. 1st of January, he needs to be in like a Rúben Neves or Conor Gallagher, because something needs to happen. And if you add a player like Semenyo into this, I think we are starting to look like a team again.
Yeah, no, 100%. We've got to do something. Yeah, no two ways about it.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been a brilliant show.
Enjoyed it.
I just want to read out, this is We Deserve Better's lineup. It comes in with the 4-3-3 with Lamens. Right back, Dallo, Yoro, Shaw, and Dorgu as left back, actually. Ugarte, Mainu, Mount on the right, Cunha, and Bruno on the left, and Cunha centrally. No. I'm reading this wrong.
Mount is the holder.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, as a central attacking midfielder. 2 holders he's got, Mainu and Ugarte.
Yeah. So Bruno and Cunha in the 10s, actually. And Ugarte, Mainu, Mount in the midfield.
But again, it is putting Ugarte and Mainu in together.
Yeah.
So difficult one.
Yes. 31 people watching on YouTube, 43 on X, so 75 people watching at the moment. So it's been a great show. We are 1 hour 45 minutes into the show. So guys, it's been a brilliant show. I really enjoyed this. I like when Stu and I go on to the tactical side and have a debate on what's the best thing to do, and with you guys also contributing. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I just want to bring out a special thanks to Grace Sheridan and to Sebastian for gifting memberships, and to I Am Titanium for your lovely donations. So thank you everybody. We will be back on Sunday with the match reaction. That will be the next show from the Tactical Devils. So guys, stay tuned. If you haven't, press that bell notification and you will get a bell, but we will try to go live right on the whistle as usual. Yes. So stay tuned, and hopefully we will see you on the next one. So everybody, thank you, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.